Welcome to Mary Alice.
What did you do?
We are a Desperate Housewives recap podcast with me, Erin McGee.
And me, Jakub Tansey. Two best friends breaking down each episode until we answer the ultimate question, Mary Alice, what did you do?
Unless, of course, we have finished season 1, in which case, insert new mystery here.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack on Wisteria Lane.
Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
So get comfortable and let's get into this week's episode.
Hello. Jakub swallowed a fly moments ago, moments before the record.
It flew right into my mouth.
Yeah, the flies will do that.
It was deeply upsetting.
Yeah. How are you?
Happy New Year for the 100th time on the pod.
Oh my God.
This is the first time we're seeing each other in person.
And this is the first time we're saying it to each other. Happy New Year, baby. I felt really bad when you came in and Rory said it to you. I was like, I've not said that to him.
Right, enough of the small talk. Let's talk about Stranger Things. Because I tried to talk about it and Erin said, shut up, it's for the preamble and I've been waiting to talk about it. So here we are.
Here we are.
So spoilers for Stranger Things. Hopefully you've seen it by now. It's probably like February by the time this comes out.
Yeah. I think everyone is going to be pretty safe. I didn't have the strong, disdainful reaction a lot of people did. I enjoyed the episode for what it was. Do I think it was good writing? Absolutely not. Did I feel things? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not that different in opinion after all.
Oh, good. I think there were in the finale anyway, massive pacing issues, massive moments of bad writing. I think they got away with a lot based on the characters they've already built. So us seeing them in happy endings was going to give us that feeling of like, oh, this is nice. And I think they kind of exploited that a little bit where they could have had a bit of bit better choices. The Mind Flayer showed up for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's my biggest criticism is how easily they beat Vecna in the Mind Flayer. And it's like separate but not separate. Obviously, there was very little death. I mean, they killed 8, but like, who gave a shit about 8? No one.
Yeah.
So basically, no one died.
And they maybe killed Elle.
But my thing is that like, if more people had died in the fight with the Mind Flayer, even though it would have been short, it would have felt like there had been more of a cost.
Yes.
If the fight with the Mind Flayer had been more challenging, I would have been okay with the lack of death. Because I think with the tone and the style of the show, I mean, they paint it as like, oh, it's this dark, edgy show. But it's really not. It's very like shiny and bubblegum, if anything.
Well, it's based on the Goonies. And the Goonies famously, doesn't have any big deaths in it. I think, and I understand them saying, this is what we started with and this is where we're ending up. But they haven't done that. Each season, we've had quite a big death beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, So I'm okay with Everyone Lived Happily Ever After. I am. For that kind of show, I enjoy that. I cried my eyes out for the whole last half hour. Look, I understand the writing had problems. But my two main things are that A, it could have been a lot worse. I think they put... After like a show like this with so much expectations, with so many characters and so many plot lines, it's really easy to do a bad job of it and really difficult to do a good job of it.
Yes.
So where that landed on the scale, I was satisfied with. And then my other thought at the end of the day was I entertained? Yes. And it's entertainment. So I'm okay with that. But famously, I loved a lot of terrible TV and movies.
Were you not entertained? Here, okay, I'm going to try and summarize my thoughts so that we don't take up too time on this. But basically, I thought that the Hellfire, like Dustin's speech was beautiful, but I don't understand why everyone's suddenly down for Hellfire Club again after he was continuously beaten up and we didn't see any of that resolve. We didn't see any of Max resolving because I'm assuming the boys all tutored her because how did she graduate on time? She was in a coma for 2 years. What was going on there? We just saw Vicky in that final moment with Max where the military come in. Never see her again. Never see any resolving of the military arc. And the epilogue for what it was feels so disproportionate when we missed so many huge things like that. Or maybe not even huge, but it just feels like they were going, oh, this isn't important. You know what really is important? Us spending all of this time in this weird montage, which I don't think it needed. I felt like, if anything, they were just trying to set up their spin-off shows. The Montauk thing was definitely set up for spin-off, the Joyce and Hopper scene. Holly at the D&D table, that was setting up a spin-off. All of it felt so... And I've looked at all of the theories and I've seen all the continuity errors, and I was one of the believers that it was part of the plot and it was going to pay off, and things being the wrong color and things being in the wrong place, and like Will talking about Melville's or whatever it was having milkshakes when actually it didn't have milkshakes at that point. It did in Henry Creel's time. I thought all of that was going to come back in a big way. I thought all of that was going to pay off. And anytime I read an interview since, I realize it's been 2 days, with the Duffer brother trying to like explain their choices, it makes it worse. It makes it so much worse to the point where I'm like, from a PR perspective, shut your mouth.
Yeah, let people just figure out what they want to believe.
Yeah, like I thought we were setting up for a Henry Creel redemption arc, or Henry being separate from Vecna.
I'm glad we didn't do that, though. I feel like that would have been predictable. And you know me, Erin, I love a baddie that's just evil. And I was very satisfied with that choice.
I was satisfied, well, I like that that's where it ended up. But if you're laying the building blocks didn't feel quite right then for me. They didn't slot into place properly then. What it was kind of building up to thematically and what it was kind of building up to in the writing was even a moment of hesitation from Henry. Or, and that's where they swoop in, or a moment of something where it's not redemption, but maybe a glimmer, a something. I think most of the season was based around that stupid play that I'm never going to go see. And is like, oh, well, if you see the play, you'll understand. Well, I ain't seen it.
I think it makes enough sense without the play. Like,
no.
I made sense of the plot as it stood. I've not seen the play. You mentioned the ending with Holly and her friends playing D&D and how that was like set up for a spin-off. For me, I didn't see that at all. I loved the full circle moment, the whole like I say next generations, they're like a few years younger than the main characters, but I just thought that was so nice, coming back to sort of like the beginning with new characters and things, and I thought that was really, really lovely, and I was crying so hard in that scene.
The idea of it was lovely, and I do love genuinely that all of the Wheeler kids are still kind of like, I'm stuck here. And they're not moving on. Like Nancy dropping out of school and kind of being like, I don't know where my life's going to go. And and Mike's still really experiencing this trauma. I thought that really worked. But some of the rest of it, do you know what saved it for me? I love Lucas and Max so much. I love them. And I think that gave me the most enjoyment.
Well, I had a fabulous time. What can I say? What
to you is the worst show ending?
Oh, Dexter.
I'm going to hit you with a How I Met Your Mother. I'm still mad about it. That's the one that I remember watching the finale, turning it off and going, and what on earth was that?
I think I didn't care enough about that show to get too upset about the ending.
Please let us know also in the comments about what you think is the worst show finale.
Yes.
And don't say Desperate Housewives, because we are nowhere near getting there.
And also the Desperate Housewives finale is awesome. So, well, we'll go there.
I did like the finale of Desperate Housewives.
Shall we talk a bit about this episode?
You mean our 30th episode?
I'm like, I kind of clocked that, we're like a third of the way through this season. That's crazy. But I don't know why 30 doesn't seem like that much to me.
I know. I thought that and I went, is that all? What do you mean? I've given half of my life to this podcast. Are you crazy?
No, it has been a while since I have been like frustrated and annoyed with Susan. But my God, in this episode, that whole fire in my belly reignites. It's really not good. Susan really bothers me in this episode.
And then weirdly, in the next one, spoilers, I'm quite sympathetic towards her. So we're getting...
we're getting tossed around all over the place.
All over the place.
Calm down, Mark.
Calm down, Mark.
So this is episode 8 of season 2, The Sun Won't Set.
Won't. I like how you went really Scottish there.
It will nae set, man.
The sun will nae set. Get pink. Get down.
Get pink.
Pink. Get down. If you guys are not familiar with Pink Get Down, you need to get on it. Get on it.
Calling all desperados.
Are you enjoying the pod?
Want to access our episodes early and support Erin and I to keep the show running?
Well, now you can.
Over at patreon.com/modded, you can support the show for as little as £3 a month.
Why, Jakub, that's less than the price of the coffees that keep us coherent during records.
Truly, no joke. You can get a shout out from us here, access episodes a whole day earlier than everyone else, and even get access to occasional bonus watch along episodes.
Ooh.
We're aiming for monthly.
But no pressure. Seriously.
We love you either way.
It's just there if you're looking for a way to show your appreciation and help us keep doing what we do.
Want to support the show for free? Tell a friend.
Tell your mother.
Tell your aunt who you know loves Desperate Housewives.
Tell your therapist.
Tell your ex-boyfriend.
No, do not break no contact. But tell anyone who might enjoy our ramblings.
And leaving a review helps more than you know.
We love you, desperados.
That's patreon.com/modded. MAWDYD.
Now, back to the episode.
Mary Ellis voiceover gives us some Betty Applewhite lore. We hear that since she was a child, everyone said she was gifted. We see a montage of her playing the piano at different ages, getting compliments from people throughout her life on her dexterity, sense of rhythm, and dramatic flair. A dramatic flair...
Spirit fingers.
Yeah. A dramatic flair that comes out in this present-day neighborhood meeting about the break-in at Gabby's, which Betty is determined not to let the neighborhood figure out the truth to, because we know it's her son, Caleb. Yeah, all our faves are there. Ida, Mrs. McCluskey, our unbothered queen. They're all there.
They're really all there. I like the link between the montage of Betty's hands and her hands being her gift to then seeing her with her hand on Matthew in the neighborhood watch scene.
Ooh, didn't clock that.
As if like one of her gifts is this like part of this arc or cooped up in this arc in some way.
Very nice.
I was very excited for Karen McCluskey ready to lay down the law.
Hell yeah.
And I also really loved when she started playing the piano and someone went, wow, you're really good. And it was 3 notes. She played 3 notes by that point.
Yeah, so Mrs. McCluskey is ripping into the so-called neighborhood watch that no one has patrolled in ages, talking...
I love that they acknowledged that though. I love that they didn't pretend that they have been neighborhood watching this whole time.
Yes.
They went, we literally all forgot about it. Love.
And it was one of the best episodes, so like bring it back.
Bring it back.
Mrs. McCluskey's talking about the motion detecting lights she has installed on her own home and suggesting hiring professional security for the neighborhood. It's been a while since we've seen a Lynette versus Karen moment, but that dynamic still very much exists.
Yes.
And Lynette is resistant to the idea of security. And then Karen says, can you really put a price on your kid's safety? Well, you probably could.
And she's not wrong. And also, so I watched this episode a little while ago now. I forgot about Karen's lights, and the way I am so excited.
They're so funny.
They're their own character.
Indeed. So Betty eventually intervenes before Karen sort of convinces people in the room to get security.
But also, what does she want? It's a suburb. She's talking about security. What do you mean? Is she imagining armed guards? Is it Fort Knox? What are we doing?
Hey, Karen has a plan. She's already turned her front lawn into like a military barracks.
But also, based on where Karen goes, I'm surprised she wants the law so close to home.
That's true. That's true. I don't
Just a
think
thought,
that had
just a
been
comment.
considered by the writers at this point, but yes, very fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, Karen wants to get the room to take a vote, and then Betty interrupts with a dun 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 on the piano, claiming to be, oh, there was so much tension, I just had to break it. And then she quickly just derails the whole topic by playing more piano and practically hypnotizing. I wrote the audience because they become an audience. It's no longer a meeting.
So I have a stupid theory about this.
Okay.
Which is that if Desperate Housewives were a game of D&D, this is Bardic Inspiration from Betty White. She is a bard class.
Yes, I love that.
And she rolls a nat 20 on this. And so naturally, everyone just falls to her will.
Excellent. Love that.
Stay tuned for more classes of Desperate Housewives. That would be a cute Instagram post if we had all the characters as D&D.
Next time one of us is bored, let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Dun 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 dun. I don't know how to do piano noises with my voice, so just you'll have to use your imagination, Desperados. Although I think the reaction you had was kind of close to what I was trying to do, Erin, there. The sound you made.
I don't know how to do piano noises with my voice.
It's true. It's true.
I can't picture you ever, even in another life, I can't imagine you ever playing the piano. Can't imagine me ever playing the piano. I can see you and I in a band and me playing the harmonica and you playing the accordion.
Oh, the accordion.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
I can just see you doing this.
I'm just, I do my flies at the gym and I'm ready.
This is great for the audio listeners.
Let's move on to Gabby.
Okay. So something that we might have forgotten is that in the last episode, Gabby fell down the stairs and it is heavily implied that she lost the baby. This is confirmed in this episode. And Mary Alice speaks through how some women cope with this type of loss. She says some women sit alone. Some refuse to go out. Some women have reminders of their unborn child and dream of what might have been. But Gabby Solis is not one of those women. She is compartmentalized. She is out in a fashionable outfit and she is smiley. And Eva Longoria does a great job here because as much as she is smiling, she is dead behind the eyes. Bree, Susan, and Lynette come over to Gabby. They've cleared their schedules. They're going to hang out with her. Bree's made banana bread. And Gabby's like, that's great for you, but I'm kind of busy. The women are clearly trying to make her open up, and I don't think they're saying the most appropriate things. I understand that there's not ever a perfect thing to say in this scenario, but I can't remember who, but one of them says, there's no reason why you and Carlos can't try again, which is not helpful at all, actually. It's clear that Gabby is pushing all of the girls away, and they're telling her that she'd be a good mother, which again is horribly unhelpful. And she's saying, actually, I'm the one with the busy schedule. So let's do don't call us, we'll call you type of vibe. And she leaves. But what's crazy about this scene is she's leaving to return baby clothes.
This was my one note. She hadn't bought maternity clothes yet, but she bought baby
clothes. And because in my head I went, maybe she was gifted baby clothes. But that doesn't make sense either because then she wouldn't be able to return them. So I don't know what's going on.
I think they just needed a little symbolic something.
A little symbolic something.
My only other note was that I want to try Bree's banana bread because I am obsessed, and also I'm pretty good at making banana bread. I reckon I could give Bree a run for her money. I'm not saying something. It's Bree.
Now, my memory is not great, but I do happen to know this is our second mention on the pod of your banana bread.
I know it is, and there will be a third.
Stay
tuned.
There may even be a fourth. But yes, you made me banana bread and it was nice considering I don't like banana bread.
Yes. Well, I didn't make it for you, but you came over and I gave you
okay.
Some. Yeah.
I actually didn't make it for you. It was just kind of there.
Yeah.
We better move on before we start fighting.
Okay, in the next scene, we are back in the prison visiting room. Woo! Carlos is all drugged up after basically losing it on hearing about Gabby's miscarriage. His knuckles are bleeding. He's cuffed. He's all spaced out. Because he's all drugged up, he's all very sad and sentimental.
Yeah.
Sad about the fact they never even picked a name. He had his top fives locked and loaded. But Gabby is not interested in hearing them. Carlos realizes that Gabby's top is new and seems upset that she's already back to shopping when she's just lost the baby. Gabby responds saying that they all grieve differently, which is kind of played as lighthearted funny line, but is very true. And Gabby's clearly in denial or something at the moment. So Carlos is overreacting, but he's also drugged up and possibly in the anger stage of grief himself. So I'm not going to hold the scene against him in the husband rankings.
I agree with basically everything you said. I think if Carlos wasn't drugged and upset and grieving in his own way, he would better understand what's happening here. And I think further down the episode, we get an understanding that after this conversation, he's made the connection of what's going on with Gabby and he knows his wife and he understands her. I think this show quite often has people showing contrasting ways to deal with something and to cope with something. There was something that I had in mind, but Rex's death. We have Bree's mother and like the mother-in-law and Bree who's shut off her emotions, and the mother-in-law who's, if anything, letting out too many emotions.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing here with Carlos's kind of violence and acting out and lashing out, and Gabby internalizing all of these feelings. However, don't like the grip on her hand, Carlos. Don't like the grip of the wrist. Don't like the firm grip. Don't like that. No touchy, no touchy. Now, a suspicious man enters, and we have another actor of note. And yet, I didn't note who the actor was. It's Danny Trejo.
There we go.
I didn't need to note it because it's all up here.
You'd recognize him if you saw him, if you don't know it by name.
Yes. He has a shovel in his bag. He has a knife. He has tattoos. I think they're trying to make the audience think this person is somebody to be afraid of. Gabby is doing yoga on her porch, and this guy is peering in. Bear in mind, Gabby has just been attacked in her own home. So understandably, she freaks out. Eventually, the man, who we come to find out his name's Hector, says that Carlos sent him to protect Gabby after the invasion. Sorry, after the invasion sounds like she was abducted by aliens.
Now, that's a fun what-if experiment. That's why they need military security.
No. So, something that I noted about the scene that I really liked is when Gabby opens the door, we see her entryway and her entry table, and all of the pictures are just Gabby. And I've noted before that all the pictures in the hall are Gabby going up the stairs. I didn't realize all the ones on the table are as well. Hector is not allowed in the property because Gabby understands Julie the Vampire Slayer lore. Hector says he gets it, and he's willing to give space, leaving with a smirk.
And that's that. So, Gabby is leaving her house and is shocked to see that Hector is just basically chilling out on her porch reading a magazine. He said
it's on antiques. The magazine is about antiques. That just
the man
really
knows what he wants.
He knows what he wants.
He said he'd give her space, but not that he'd leave altogether. A man of his word, I guess.
Technicalities.
He promised Carlos to watch out for her, and that's what he's going to do. So Gabby doesn't have time for this. She's got more shopping to do, which Hector comments on, saying that all the shopping must be making up for something. And Gabby's frustrated that everyone's getting on her back about how she's dealing with the loss. And honestly, fair. Let her be.
Yeah, she's starting to show feeling, even if it is anger. I think they're trying to take her through all the stages of grief in one episode. Because she starts in denial, and then this is anger.
I mean, I just wrote that when I went through my last breakup, I bought a £400 Lego set. So I relate to Gabby. Go get those clothes, baby. Do what you need to do.
You sure did. My last breakup was over a decade ago, and I truly can't remember.
Probably wasn't that significant then.
Wishing the best. This had a contender for my quote of the week this scene. He accused me of cheating with 2 gay guys. Are you sure you want to go with perspective?
That was a good one.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Indeed.
So, after the shopping trip, Gabby comes back and Hector is on the porch peeling apples, because why not? Gabby has had her hair done, an eyebrow wax, her nails done, etc. Her hair is extremely high. Probably to pick up some alien signals.
What's hiding in that hair?
Yeah.
A little alien controlling her nose in the big hair.
Isn't that how I've not seen Men in Black in a very long time, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens in Men in Black. So Gabby wants to write Hector a check to make him go away. Hector asks to go to the bank to cash it. So Gabby gets in the random man's car days after she has been attacked in her own home. Gabby has no stranger danger.
It's true. I love her matching gold accessories and bag. Gabby's a fan of gold recently. She had that gold blanket thing on.
Yeah.
And now this. Oh, I love Gabby in gold.
Yeah. So then Hector does the scary note, the scary line of, Carlos didn't really send me to protect you.
Enter Betty White.
Dun, dun, dun. I wrote dun, dun, dun. But again,
Betty White. I mean, Betty Applewhite.
I didn't even notice. Betty White shows up. And do you know why? Because you were talking about gold and she's one of the Golden Girls.
There we go.
It's really heavily implied in this scene anyway that he's there for another reason. It feels like a classic fake out. I don't know if...
I don't think anyone believed it.
Yeah, but we're not falling for it, Mark.
We immediately know Gabby is not in danger of being murdered in the next scene because, I mean, we already assumed she wasn't, but because they have not driven to the June murder desert, but instead to the local park.
This is more like,
Yeah. Gabby makes a run.
There's a sandpit.
There's a sandpit. Danger. Gabby makes a run for it, but stops when she turns back and sees that all that Hector took out of his car boot was a balloon. And we learn that Carlos actually sent him to Gabby to help her deal with her grief. We get a cute little metaphor where the balloon represents the spirit of the life of the baby that was lost. And by letting it go, Gabby will acknowledge the pain she feels and let it go at the same time. She thinks it's silly and unnecessary, but since he says he'll go if she does it, she gives it a try, and naturally it's harder than she expected to let go. But before she does let go, she says the names that she was planning for a boy and a girl, which is a very sweet detail and way to show that she really was lying to herself about how okay she was. We get the sad music and it's cute. But honestly, I actually remember feeling much more emotional at this scene in previous watches because I remembered this storyline and I was like gearing up to be sad, and then at the end I was just kind of like, yeah, cute. But it gets the job done. Narratively,
it's the job done. I think what I find heartbreaking about this, it's not only that she's planned the names, but it's when she says, "Oh, I would have been a terrible mother." That gut punches me. Especially when we had the scene in the beginning with the girls where they're telling her that she would have made a wonderful mother. It hurts my feelings. The boy name is Charlie. The girl name is Aurora. Those names are not the same font.
Well, she would have only had to pick one.
Yeah, but do you know when you're like, oh, these are the type of names I like? Aurora is Sleeping Beauty's name.
Pick a lane, Gabby. Pick a lane.
Pick a lane. But no, I had the exact same thing as you, where I expected to be sadder. I think the performance was great. I think, I wonder if we've seen so many scenes now in our times watching television similar to this, like this, that are structured in this way, whereas seeing like an arc like this for the first time hit harder. Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just got all of our sadness out during the watch along for when the accident actually happened.
I was a mess. A mess. Oh. Lynette is driving home and sees her children, playing rugby in the middle of the night. We do know that Lynette has been doing some working late. Mrs. McCluskey has her little house lights on, but they are full stage lights. It looks like a football stadium. It looks like the Truman Show.
Well, speaking of aliens, I think that if I was asleep in Lynette's house and they went off, I'd think I was being abducted because that's how insane and just outward facing they are. They're going to wake up the entire neighborhood.
This is the alien episode. Okay, so
Abduction on Wisteria Lane.
So Lynette comes in, Tom's hoovering. Lynette ushers Tom to the window and Tom says, "Damn, they must have snuck out again." I understand the sneaking out, but it's 9 p.m. and they're not even in their pajamas, which makes me think Tom didn't even put them to bed.
I mean, my main thought here was let's not pretend that Lynette had the twins under control when she was the stay-at-home parent.
Well,
We've seen better behavior from the kids since Tom took over. So I'm like, this could be worse.
See, I'm like, Tom kind of had me until I realized that they weren't in their pajamas.
They could have easily gotten dressed or had their clothes under their pajamas. We know what these twins are
They're
like.
not the kids that would have gotten dressed. I refuse to believe that. So the kids are 7. That's just important to know. Tom said he used to do that kind of thing. But Lynette remarks, it was a different time.
Hey, but not that different.
Then, this is where Tom loses me. Lynette asks where Penny is, and Tom seems scared because he doesn't know straight away.
He's just like me. He doesn't like being put on the spot.
When did you become such a Tom defender?
I don't know. I'm just enjoying riding the wave of Tom goodness.
There is a baby who presumably can't walk and support themselves properly, lying on the couch and could easily fall off. This is a very unsafe situation for the baby.
The baby's in its cot.
It's on the couch.
All right.
Let's roll the clip.
Okay. Next scene. Tom brings Lynette through to the living room the next day to prove to her that she's nothing to worry about, but it's basically just putting on a bit of a show and quizzing the twins on how to react in different stranger danger scenarios that he's been coaching them on, it seems.
Which is an important lesson because, as we've just said, Gabby has no concept of stranger danger.
She was brought up in that different time.
Yeah.
So the twins stay on script, even when Lynette jumps in with her own off-the-cuff questions.
She's going for improv.
Yes.
I like that Tom subtly shakes his head, and Lynette goes, "Don't look at your dad."
Eyes on me. However, the twins continue to claim that they'd run away from strangers, and Tom acts like his team has scored a goal in the sport. Whatever that may be, insert sport here. Lynette still isn't convinced though, and I really enjoyed Tom's response, which was the following. Lynette, I can keep my children alive. When you left this morning, there were 4. When you came home, there were still 4. When you come home and there were only 3, then you get to lecture me.
Which I particularly enjoyed because she came home and there were only 2, and that was the problem. She came home and there were only 2 children in the home. So, Tom, what is the point of your comment?
Well, it cracked me up.
Again, I think it's a really funny scene. I think it's an important conversation to have with your kids. But it's really not the end of the matter when your kids are sneaking out in the dark, because stranger danger or no stranger danger, whether you choose to go willingly with an abductor or not, the kids can get abducted. And we all know we mean by aliens.
I can't believe we're branching out our side plots into sci-fi.
We've now got the X-Files. So.
The ex-Wisteria Lane residents. Now they live in space.
I had told Jakub before. Okay, full disclosure. The last episode we were meant to record was this one. And Jakub showed up to my house. And I would say that I was so far from okay. I realized that I've said this before where I've just been hiding from Jakub in the flat because I'm not okay. Well, guess what? Rory wasn't there. I was on my own. I let Jakub in. And the way I couldn't form a sentence, the way Jakub was like, okay, we're not recording today. We're gonna make a cup of tea. I'm gonna make it. We're gonna sit. We're gonna talk through some things. And it's all gonna be all right. And I greatly appreciated that moment of love.
Yeah, you kept saying like, no, we'll record. And I was like going along with it, being like, we're not gonna record today, and that's fine. But we'll go along with it for now.
There will be no record today, Erin. The reason that I'm flagging this is some of my notes to me now don't make sense, and one is just simply not the return of Stu. Full stop. Stu is updating his blog, and Lynette says that she's ready to give Stu some more responsibility. Stu is all up for it. At one point, he actually thinks, am I going to be making your husband jealous? To which Lynette says, no. I need you to kidnap my children. I love Lynette. I love her. She said, if I'm not going to be right, that I'm going to make myself right.
Well, I mean, as you've commented before, Lynette gets accused a lot of being controlling and manipulative, but that a lot of these times are unjustified.
This time she is.
Yeah, fully justified.
Well, she's...
No, fully justified to call her being controlling and manipulative.
Oh,
yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? I loved it.
I also commented that I love Lynette's little nervous laugh. I think when Stu makes the comment about, make your jealous husband, she does her little... and like she does it a lot, and I just love it every time. It makes me happy. This next scene is phenomenal. The twins are playing outside, and Lynette has Tom watching from the window. Stu pulls up in a car and awkwardly tries to convince the twins to get in with him. When Tom clocks what's happening, and asks if Stu is kidnapping their kids, Lynette responds with, maybe.
Lynette is like, yeah. He's kidnapping our kids. Let's just watch at the window. And I love Tom being like, come on, boys. You can do it. And it's like they're both watching their favorite sports team and they're on opposite sides. And they're just like, do it. And Tom and sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry. This scene made me cackle.
So the twins unfortunately fail the test eventually because once Stu offers them some candy, and that's really all it took, they're making a beeline for that car. They're getting in, they're buckling up, and then tap, tap, tap on the window. Mrs. McCluskey is knocking. And Stu, proud of himself for completing his assigned work task successfully, rolls down the window with a big smile on his face to say hi before getting tasered so hard by Karen. Karen is zapping away, calling Stu a pervert and yelling at the twins to run!
Run, kids, run!
Until eventually Lynette comes over to put a stop to this unfortunate misunderstanding that she created.
All of this is great. All of this is great. I'm so happy the storyline happens for many reasons. We have the return of Mrs. McCluskey, and her entire shtick really is she is like a good person, despite the fact she doesn't want to be.
She's a good person disguised as a bad person.
She's a good person in spite of herself. And in this moment, Mrs. McCluskey is, dare I say, the best neighbor.
Oh,
if there is an award for best neighbor. And I also like that we've been reminded at the beginning of this episode that
she's on high alert.
She doesn't really like Lynette's kids.
Oh, yeah.
And she doesn't really care that much about Lynette. They have a bit of a, frenemy type of relationship. They're in each other's lives and they're obligated to each other, but they're not best friends. So she, without hesitation.
I would contest that she doesn't like Lynette's kids, because I think from her initial arc in the previous season, we learned that Lynette's kids remind her of her own since passed away child. And so I think she actually really likes the kids. Again, as much as she doesn't want to. And it's Lynette she doesn't like.
Yeah. I wonder if Lynette reminds her of her.
Quite possibly.
But it is a great moment. And also, my favorite moments from Tom and Lynette are always when they're like, let's see who's right. Let's see. And it makes sense because they were both in a competitive marketing business.
And I think as long as the competition is fair, then it's fun to watch.
I also want to point out, Tom had no qualms about her doing this. He just wanted to make sure he was right. Stu came up and was like, this is the situation. Lynette said, yep, maybe they're kidnapping our kids. Tom wasn't like, this isn't appropriate.
Well, I think that's something they would both do in different situations, which is why they're a good match, actually.
That's what I mean. So it's like, he's like, okay, reasonable. I see you and I raise you. Like,
it's a fun dynamic. Yeah.
Oy.
We move on to
Bree. You know what's not fun?
Bree with a hint of Betty. Bree is cutting a coupon out of a newspaper when she realizes... Hell yeah. When she realizes on the other side of the coupon that it's a picture of her. And
I hate when I'm cutting coupons and I accidentally cut out my face. Hate it.
It's a newspaper announcement of her and George's engagement. Just another example of George trying to entangle their lives as much as possible and making it harder for her to leave him.
I just want to note that my first reaction initially was, I kind of want to do that. I mean, I've been engaged over a year, but screw it. I didn't do that. Maybe I should.
An announcement in the metro.
not the Metro. Sir.
What would be your newspaper of choice?
Well, isn't that a controversial question? I'm going to say Smash Hits Magazine.
Great.
OK Magazine. Me and
You're
Rory on the cover. Slay.
Seen leaving Cafe Nero.
I'm on OK Magazine, and that's the headline. And then underneath, abducted by aliens.
Excellent.
Anywho.
So, hard cut to Bree confronting George about this in the pharmacy. George is being apologetic, but ultimately dismissive. Lucky for them, though, people only read those announcements when there's no exciting news on the front page. So thank God for the catastrophic flood in Sri Lanka that's taking up those headlines.
We also find out in this scene that Rex has been dead for 7 weeks now.
Yeah.
And Bree's engaged. And...
Not through her own will, though, I would argue.
No.
Even though she said yes, I would still argue that was not of her choosing.
I was obsessed with another scene of Bree being so indifferent to suffering and going, we lucked out.
Yeah. George agrees to discuss going public with her in the future, and he does need, and I quote, need her to wear that ring. And he is way too pushy here. He claims that a ring tells would-be suitors a woman is spoken for, a naked hand attracts unwanted attention.
Calling a hand without a ring naked is crazy.
I just wanted to throw up in my mouth reading that. Vile. He's simultaneously telling Bree that he doesn't trust her, trying to control her, making her do something she's clearly not comfortable with, and all this so soon after Rex's death. The term spoken for sounds like he owns her. Just everything about that statement is so horrific.
But it is ownership for him. And he does have incredibly intense control issues, and he is seeing Bree as his property, and he wants her to have some sort of public indicator that she belongs to him now, and it is disgusting. Yep. In our next scene, I have missed Bree's gardening outfits.
We're back, baby.
We all know I love her in her wee pink and green. We all know I love this colour palette on her. A random woman approaches, saying she saw the announcement in the paper about the engagement, and she has somehow gotten Bree's information and tracked her down.
I feel like in those times, you just look people up in the phone book. I feel like that's in every detective scene from the 2000s. It's like, flick through the yellow pages. I found him.
I got him. This woman says how possessive George was when she and George were engaged. She says her ex lived down the street and George accused her of infidelity. One night, someone set the ex's car on fire. And it's very clear that this woman believes, and we as an audience know, that it was George who did that. This scene is interesting to me because it does prove that George is not a virgin. It also proves that this wasn't, I feel like a lot of the reason I bring it up, I don't really care if someone's a virgin or not, is earlier when we were introduced to the dynamic between Bree and George, it feels like he's so desperate and controlling because this is the first woman he's managed to catch in his net.
Yeah, but now we see it's a pattern.
It's a pattern, and it is more serial killery. It's like inevitably Bree will slip up and George will turn on her. It's not that this is the first time and that's why he's acting crazy. Anyway, my next note is Bree is bitchy in bunches. I love that this gal's gal comes to warn her, because guess what, everyone at home? That's what I would do.
No one is shocked.
The woman reveals that George slapped her, and then Bree fully victim blames her and is like, well, you're a bit rude and I don't like your tone, so maybe you deserve to have been slapped. I hate that from Bree. I'm blaming the bunches. I think the bunches must have been so tight pulling on her hair, and she's so used to her comfortable morning bun that it has stopped some blood flow and turned her nasty.
Well, what I think is that she knows deep inside that she shouldn't be with George, and she's trying to convince herself she's not making a mistake, which is why she's getting so defensive here.
Well, it's one or the other. Either she believes George is capable of this, or she has to believe that this woman is crazy.
Exactly. However, my main note for this is, first of all, so I write the scene titles for our notes.
You do,
in this dog,
and I love them.
And so my title for this scene was Bree gets a warning and Jakub Googles epithets. Because that is a word Bree uses in the scene.
Yes.
And Erin, my question for you is, have you heard the word epithets before?
Yes.
There's just like so many words out there. How are we meant to keep up? This is ridiculous.
There's oh my
it's getting
God.
out of hand.
Too many words, guys. Let's rein it in. Let's pack it up.
Thank you.
We're
Okay.
done.
Right, moving on.
In the next scene, I know it's your scene, but I just have to say, did you take note of George's ex-fiance's name?
Layla.
Did you get the full name?
No.
Layla Mitzman.
Yes. Classic Desperate Housewives name. So back at the pharmacy, Bree talks to George again, bringing up Layla Mitzman and what she said. George proceeds to gaslight Bree into thinking she's a crazy lady.
And breaks HIPAA laws.
Yeah.
I'm Scottish, so I don't know why I said that, like, you're not also Scottish. We're Scottish, so I'm not fully familiar with HIPAA laws, but I dare say this is a massive breach.
I would assume you're not meant to share information that George is about to share. So yeah, he's trying to convince Bree that Layla is a crazy lady that's obsessed with him and is quote unquote proof. He prints off an old prescription of hers, he claims, showing meds that treat depression for mood swings and antipsychotics for hallucinations.
I have things to say about that.
Yes.
I think you probably can guess what I'm going to say.
Yes.
Leave fluoxetine alone. Leave fluoxetine alone. Many people I love are on it. I've heard it's a great time. Being medicated for things like this does not mean that you are, mentally unwell. You've got a hormone imbalance. You've got something you've got a brain imbalance, a chemical imbalance. You've got, all sorts. There are many reasons for people to be on medications. And I don't like that this old-fashioned, and I do think it's of its time, idea that if you are medicated for something, that means there's something, quote, wrong with you, or that makes you more dangerous. And I do think it feeds into a bit of the Caleb storyline and Betty Applewhite, if I'm honest, this idea of if your brain works differently, then that somehow makes you a threat.
Yeah. I do believe that Bree in her traditional vibe and stuff would buy into that though.
Yeah.
And George knows it.
She knows.
But yeah, Bree wonders why George ever dated her in the first place. And we have an interesting exchange where George says, well, in the beginning, we're blind to the flaws. And Bree, in a moment of what reads to me as acknowledgement and a bit of perspective, responds with, that's true, in the beginning. So she's starting to acknowledge the odds here.
Yep.
So she says they're all good, but when she leaves, we see her take the engagement ring back off. So she's clearly just putting it on around George.
It's very, she knows. She knows. Can we talk about how crazy the editing of the names is? George has given the wrong prescription and then types it, deletes the name again of Layla Mitzman and puts back the person's name back in. And it's a weird Windows XP interface. It has the same energy in the Nelly and Kelly music video where she's texting him on XL.
Very fast, yes.
Matthew lies to Betty and says he's out looking for Caleb. So we now know that Caleb has not returned home since Gabby's home invasion. Matthew even guilts Betty, saying he could hurt another girl. Betty says he didn't hurt Mrs. Solis. He was just hungry. Which is similar to her lines, I think it was last episode or the episode prior, where she's talking about Caleb's behavior towards Melanie Foster, saying he was just confused. But Matthew was not talking about Mrs. Solis. Da-da-da. Matthew goes out and in a twist meets Danielle on a bench. This scene is very weird to me for two reasons. One, Danielle is now wearing a very normal outfit. And two, I don't know if it's Danielle. I don't know if it's the actress. I don't know if it's hay fever. She has been crying. We can tell from her face that she has been crying. We need to look it up. Her eyes are red and she looks like she's been really upset.
Oh, okay. I don't remember clocking that. I do think though, we've had this conversation about grief in this episode and that one scene with Danielle being overly sexualized and stuff. I think that was quite possibly just her trying to deal with like her dad's loss and grieving and acting out and all that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And now that's maybe passed a little bit, so she's a bit more back to herself.
Yeah, it was just weird where I went, are we not going to address the fact that this girl's clearly been crying? Bree is drinking out of a very cute cocktail glass, and her and George are in a bar. George asks about the ring again, which she is not wearing. Bree lies and says her stone is loose, and that's why. Bree is firm when George asks her to wear it anyway. Enter Ty Grant. Ty Grant is hot. Look, I am devastated that this is Ty Grant's only appearance. This man was hot to me instantly. Do you know why? He recognized Bree from the back of her head. He was like, Bree? Hot.
Do you know why this is his only scene?
He's too powerful.
The second he leaves, abducted by aliens. Never seen again.
I think that's the only reasonable explanation.
Anyway.
So, after Ty comes over and they're introducing, Bree introduces Ty to George and George to Ty. Does she leave out that they're engaged for a second and then George says it?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
She introduces George as her friend, and he's like, we're engaged, actually. Yes. Specifically after he promised not to go public without talking to Bree.
And in an act of rebellion, Bree asks Ty for a dance. George is fuming, babes. Fuming.
The amount of chemistry with this man in 5 seconds compared to a season with George.
This is what makes me so annoyed, because in a Delulu move, they cut this arc short. And I actually think this could have been really sweet. This old flame from Bree's past even teaches her temporarily to love again. Would have been such a nice storyline. And Bree, spoilers, ends up with a lot of people she has zero chemistry with. It's really annoying. Ugh. So, George, in his rage, goes into Bree's purse and takes the ring out. He marches over, makes a complete scene, and shouts, "We are engaged. You have to wear it," at her. And Bree immediately realizes, well, I don't know if she realizes or it's reaffirmed for her that Layla has been telling the truth the entire time.
I was cheering when George loses it, because immediately you know he's fucked up and that he's broken this illusion or spell that he seems to have manipulated Bree into believing. So I think Bree's been picking up on signs, but this is where the illusion is smashed.
Thank goodness, +1 to the death count, gullible Bree is dead.
Thank God. You will not be missed.
You will not be missed. May you not rest in peace. In a wild move, George gives the ring back to Bree, puts it on her purse, then takes it again, then reaches into Ty Grant's pocket of his jacket, which is on the chair, takes his car keys. He goes to the valet parking, and the valet is saying, "Oh, we keep all the nice cars over here." And George goes over to the car. Wild.
And this will not come back.
Is this... Well, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wait. Just between me and you. What am I forgetting?
In the last scene.
Skipping ahead a bit.
Wait, no, because it's funnier if you don't remember.
Okay. Do you know? But you know what is funny? I've just looked at the final scene and I've written no notes. Because it's your scene. And there was nothing I specifically wanted to say.
Slay.
Anyway, we'll get there.
I think it's because George takes Ty's car that he's abducted by aliens because he has to walk home.
I think I meant it doesn't come back in the sense that there's no like consequences for this or anything.
There are. Jakub, you've forgotten them. When I say we'll get there, this time I mean I'll get there, I guess. Thanks for leaving me to get there all by myself. What do you mean?
I can't wait.
Let's move on to Susan. Susan. I hate this art.
I hate it.
I hate it here. Also, I just got my full eyesight back. I went to the opticians today and they were sorting things with my eyes, as opticians do. They were very nice. They were very thorough. 10 out of 10 experience. But they did at one point want to check something in my eye and they put drops in, normal, and then went, oh, your eye will probably be blurry for a couple of hours. And the way I haven't been able to see anything, my font size on my notes is so large. But I'm back.
Welcome. So Mike is cleaning out his gutters on top of a ladder when down below Susan approaches to once again try and act as if there's no problem and they can just move on. Yeah. Quite frustrating.
I will say though, I think Mike's doing too much. He's doing too much to be petty and annoying. Like I do think he's got a little bit of a toxicity in him in this moment. I think he's enjoying Susan continuously chasing him and enjoying being the one to be like, no.
What's interesting to me is that Mike was very respectful when Susan was iffy about the relationship, like when they were just sort of with the whole Zach situation in the beginning. And she is not showing him the same grace at all. She will give no space. But anyway, she's going on about her mum's wedding, which Mike had RSVP'd to when they were still together, but Mike will not be attending anymore, obviously.
Which I agree with him. It is so weird for her to even consider the idea that Mike would be going with her to this.
Crazy. Susan says they could still be together at a wedding and it wouldn't be weird. And the look that Mike gives Susan when she says that had me howling.
I understand that there are some people who have been blessed with grace and are able to be friends with their exes. I understand that exists as a concept. I get along well with some of my exes. And by that, I mean, I wish you a happy birthday. Right? The idea of after a breakup, going to a wedding, the most romantic thing you can probably do with another person bar getting married yourself is insanity. I don't care how, even if you are best friends.
And this is, and like, they're not on friendly terms at this point. Anyway, Susan starts talking about the book she's writing.
Embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed for her. Okay, again, I keep going into the if it were me. If I'm broken up with an ex, he shows up at my door and he's immediately like, do you still want to come to a family wedding with me? Obviously not. And then he's like, I'm writing a book about love. I'd be like, I don't think you're qualified.
And by the way, this book will never be released. It's just an excuse for exposition that goes nowhere. But in any case, she mentions that she mentions to her dad that she's never met, who her mum told her about, but Mike points out some holes in what Sophie has told Susan.
This scene as well is so funny because she's trying to trauma dump. Mike is trying to gutter dump. And Mike weirdly knows a bunch about battles and Marines. Like very specific.
I feel like I believe that for Mike though. I feel like that suits his vibe. But in any case,
but it's the best detective work he has ever done.
I don't think it's detective work. I just think it's in his knowledge bank. You know?
Yeah, fair.
So throughout the scene, Mike is throwing down handfuls of gross, muddy leaves right where Susan is standing, but she is not taking the hint. So eventually he tells her both literally and in other ways that she really needs to step back. I also thought, just as a little completely unrelated fun fact aside, I called this scene Gardyloo.
I'm glad you bring that up because I thought that was a really fun title.
So for those of you who are not from Edinburgh or Scotland, Gardyloo is... So, you know the term getting shit-faced, as in getting really drunk?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know, Erin, but
I felt like you needed some audience response, so I was trying to...
Thank you, babe. Yeah. Yes. So back in the day in Edinburgh Old Town, before plumbing, before Mike had a job, people would throw their waste out onto the streets from the buckets they would do it in. Very lovely. And they would yell Gardyloo as they were throwing it out. Simultaneous to this, the streets of Edinburgh at the time were very narrow, and the time that people did this was the same time that the pubs closed at that time. So there would be people wandering home drunk while this was happening, and so I think you can put the pieces together there of where the saying getting shit-faced comes from.
Yes.
It's Edinburgh, baby.
It's Edinburgh. But Gardyloo is so funny because I remember getting a school project when we were learning all about Old Town and Edinburgh. We learned about this. And I came home and asked my mum if she, as a child, had to shout Gardyloo. and throw her poop out the window. And she was like, how old do you think I am? I was born in the 1960s. Okay, so Sophie is in what looks like the Edinburgh Royal Botanical Gardens.
It does. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right.
This is the scene where I fully turned on Susan.
Thank you.
Susan is late to the wedding rehearsal as the maid of honor. She then is trying to bring up Susan's dad while they are rehearsing going down the aisle. She is now walking backwards down the aisle, speaking to her mum while her mum is manically trying to turn her around. Susan is confused because there's no record of anybody with her dad's name in the armed services. Marty, remember Marty? It's like, I knew this would happen.
He knows his wife.
But
or fiance.
Susan is being so rude on this occasion. It's clear that she deserves to know this information. But the fact that it made her late to her mum's wedding rehearsal, the fact she's bringing it up now and her mum clearly doesn't want to talk about it, this could be a conversation for, I don't know, 2 minutes after the wedding rehearsal is done.
And there's a horrible line when Sophie's practically begging Susan to put a pin in it, and she is so dismissive and says something like, oh, you've been married 4 times. This isn't a big deal.
It's so rude.
Get in the bin, Susan. My
It's
God.
so rude. You want to talk about people being married multiple times, Susan? We'll get there.
Oh, we will.
Susan ends up pulling on Sophie's veil. The way I would deck her, the way I would throw her over that little bridge, the way drowning. And again, Susan is so violent. Susan's wave of crime continues. She's not happy with running Edie over. She's not happy with burning houses down. Violence.
That's who Karen McCluskey really wanted to hire security to protect against.
The good money I would pay to see Karen McCluskey tasing Susan.
Oh, what a dream that would be.
I do think, and I will say that Sophie is extremely emotionally manipulative with her reaction too. And it's very narcissistic of her to say, you want me to say I'm a bad mother, then fine, I'm a bad mother, as the excuse. When she knows that Susan has a right to have this information.
Not in this moment, though.
But it's not in this moment.
Yeah.
Marty tells the officiant, yeah, I know what I'm getting into.
Speaking of officiants, as a little quick aside, I met someone at the New Year's Eve party I was at who's going to a wedding in Sydney in a couple of months, and it's going to be officiated by one of the Real Housewives of Melbourne. And I'm so jealous. I'm so bloody jealous.
This feels like in the Sex and the City movie, right? Ignore the Sex and the City movies. They're awful. But the gay wedding is officiated by Liza Minnelli.
Incredible. But yeah, Real Housewives of Melbourne, get into it.
If you had to have a real housewife officiate your wedding, who'd it be?
Maybe Heather Game. Maybe Meredith Marks.
Has to be
Meredith
Marks.
Meredith Marks would DJ the reception.
Yes, she would. But I would love her to DJ the wedding, as the officiant, just pressing buttons. It's like, do you?
We are gathered here today.
I want only British Meredith Marks.
Yes, if you know, you know.
You want to take this man to be your husband?
Phenomenal work.
Thanks.
Phenomenal work. So in the next scene, a little while later, Susan talks to Marty asking for details about her father, and Marty basically reveals to her that she is the result of a random one-night stand as far as he's aware, and that he also says that Sophie wasn't married to her father, as if that's a revelation, but we know...
Yeah.
But we and Susan know about all her failed marriages, so does that really make sense? Did Marty think that Susan thought one of those guys that Susan already knows about was her dad? Doesn't make sense.
It's weird as well that Susan has been told her dad is a war hero. And I guess that makes sense why she writes children's books and why she writes about knights and fairy tales and heroes. But also at the same time, this scene has Marty telling the story about paying for sex workers.
It's a confusing scene.
It's
a lot of unnecessary things happening.
Do you know what that's what it is? This entire arc, unnecessary. 100%. Does nothing, gives nothing. I'm going to scoot past it. So next, good. Susan still shows up at the wedding because obviously she should. I don't care. I'm not going to debate this with anybody. She should still be showing up at her mother's wedding. She is maid of honor. She has made the commitment. Doesn't matter how mad you are. Family shows up, right? Unless she was intending to fully cut contact with Sophie, that'd be different. Susan and Sophie have this little moment. And my only real note is that I personally think Susan's book should be on Sophie's relationships.
Fair enough. We then move on to wedding speeches at the reception. Sophie decides to make it about her and Susan, which is pretty disrespectful to Marty in the same way Susan was disrespectful to the both of them during the rehearsal earlier.
I think the apple's rotten right to the core. But I do love that Marty is taking Sophie on a 4-month cruise around the world after the wedding.
I would hate that, but I'm happy for them.
I would hate that, but love that for you guys.
Yeah. She comes clean to Susan about her father out of guilt, it seems, who we learn was Sophie's, I've written Sophie's married boss. So Susan is the result of an affair from when she was younger and that ghosted Sophie when she said she was pregnant, basically. And more importantly, we learn that this whole time, Susan's father has lived across town running the supply and animal feed store, which is crazy. Naturally, Susan storms out, Julie follows, and Marty awkwardly asks Sophie if she's still seeing him. Which is said as a joke, but I'm like, if you have questions like this at your wedding, you should not be at your wedding.
But it's also so weird that Marty chose to lie to Susan as well. Like, there was the reveal.
But did Marty know that, or did Sophie also lie to Marty? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't think he did. But I mean, sorry, I think my reading of this scene, I could be wrong, maybe I should rewatch it, but Marty knew full well that it was Addison Prudy.
Well, at this point, in any case, this is the first point where I can understand Susan getting upset and like making a scene and storming off. Before this, unacceptable. Now, fair enough.
At some point, I think somebody says, I want to ask Addison Prudy. And a random man at the wedding is like, I know Addison Prudy.
It's the officiant.
Is it the officiant?
Yes. I know, because during the rehearsal, I clocked that he looked a little bit like Mr. Detective Hitman. And so I clocked him again in that moment. But yes, anyway. Something
else is really weird. It's just, I don't know if it's an acting choice, a scene choice, whatever. Julie in the scene with the Addison Prudy reveal looks like she already knows.
I feel like it's not that she knows, it's that she just always assumes shit like this is going to happen around her mum. So she's like, well, here we go again. Guess we're meeting Grandpa soon.
The next scene in this arc, Hellhound Bongo smells something at the door. He sees Caleb running and trying to get into cars. Mike tackles Caleb to the ground and Mrs. McCluskey arrives, taser in hand. With the same energy of, you want a slurp from my hose? She goes, you need me to zap him?
You want a zap from my tase? My only note for this scene is that I'm obsessed with the taser making Karen power mad. She's like Palpatine. Darth McCluskey. Oh my God, episode title.
Oh my God. I need to tell you, I'm trying to work out how much to redact from this story. I used to babysit for a family in the early, I'd say in the mid 2000s. What would you class as the mid 2000s? Like
2000 and anywhere from 03 to 08.
Okay, so not then.
Range.
I used to babysit for a family when I was a teenager, and this family had a father who took me aside and let me know that next to the front door, should anything happen, there was a fully functioning taser, and showed me the button that I should press should something come up. Now, I've never Googled it, but I am 99.9% sure that taser and tasers in general are illegal in Scotland.
Did you ever push the button?
No, because I was worried that it would tase myself. In the same way that I have this really crazy, I don't know if it's an irrational fear, but I did first aid training and they were showing us how to use EpiPens. They were like, remember not to use the other side because you'll press it. And
I've jab seen yourself on your thumb.
So many people have had the nail go right through their finger and their fingernail. And now I'm like, I think I would just let the person die. I can't cope with that.
Yep, I believe it.
Yep.
So all the neighbors are outside watching as the police take Caleb away. Gabby confirms that Sue broke into her house.
Poor Caleb.
And we transition into the final Mary Alice voiceover. That was all I have to say. And now it's you.
Okay.
And I can't wait to find out what happens here.
I cannot believe you did not notice this. So, in our final Mary Alice voiceover, she says, in a world filled with darkness, we all need some kind of light. Whether it's a great flame that shows us how to win back what we have lost. And we see that George has burned Ty Grant's car, just like he burned his ex-fiance's ex-boyfriend's car.
Oh, so
you eat it.
Okay, no. So I mean, I just kind of assumed he'd like trash the car or whatever, and by that doesn't come back. I meant there's like the car is never mentioned after this episode. There's no consequences for him destroying or damaging this car. I didn't ever make the connection to Layla's story though. The car burning in that sense. So that's interesting.
+1 to the car accident count.
R.I.P. the car.
R.I.P. car. +1 to the death count. Mary Alice says, or a wonderful beacon intended to scare away potential monsters. And we see the twins and Tom. She says, or a few glowing bulbs that reveal to, I think the word is some, but I've made a typo, the hidden truth of our past. And it's Susan stalking Addison Prudy. We all need something to help us get through the night. We see Caleb is in a police car and we can see the entire lane staring at him. Then, in an absolutely insane choice, Betty White does the introduction to Pretty Little Liars.
Got a secret, can you keep it?
She holds up a finger to her lips and does a shh, as if Caleb has just done something cheeky. It's wild.
What's wild to me is that this voiceover has so much talk about lighting, and there is no mention of Mrs. McCluskey's insane floodlights, which are the brightest lights of them all.
Is the monster of the week aliens? I didn't write them down, but maybe
I've not typed out segments for this either, actually. Oops.
Wow, we're really bad podcast hosts.
Okay, so
monster of the week, aliens.
Decided.
Done.
Now I didn't type it out, but I did think in my head as I watched it, worst neighbor is Mrs. McCluskey, because why are you waking me up with your lights all night long? Those lights would drive me insane if my neighbor had those. So it's got to be Mrs. McCluskey.
See, I would say that the balance of her being so on it with the taser makes her so best neighbor to me that by the end, she ends up completely neutral.
No. Because how often is your neighbor tasing people trying to kidnap your kids versus a motion detecting thing waking you up in the night? You're going to be way more frustrated waking up at like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. because of these damn lights than you are about the one instance that she zaps an invader.
I'm not going to lie. Neither of those things have happened to me.
But can you imagine? We're using our imaginations here, Erin.
Can you imagine which would annoy you more and how regularly it would occur?
Yes. That is the question at hand.
That's the question at hand.
Anyway, sorry, who is your worst neighbor?
I would say the worst neighbor is Betty Applewhite because she is not taking the Neighborhood Watch seriously.
Very fair. Safety's important.
Safety is extremely important. Do we have an outfit of the week? Oh, yes, I do. It
Gardening outfit?
Bree's gardening.
Yeah. I think for me, it's Gabby's golden outfit. Very nice.
Beautiful.
Okay, so, right, let me get the husbands' names down.
Whoever they are.
Husbands and ex-partner.
You're not going to enjoy my mic ranking.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's 5.
I think I'm just impartial to a Mike 5 because what else can you feel about that?
He's still 5. He's Mike Del 5.
Yeah, if anything, I would have thought you'd rank him lower.
No.
Alrighty.
I think he's being a petty spaghetti, but I don't think that makes him a bad ex-partner necessarily, you know?
I'd like to put Carlos at I can't decide between 6 or 7. Because as you said, by the end, we know that he knows his wife and he has taken steps, even from in jail, to try and help her with her grief. But he does it in a very scary way.
Yes, and don't forget, he's also doing it in a scary way to a woman who has just experienced home invasion.
Yes, but the intention is good.
But also the gripping of the...
I am forgiving that whole scene, given the being drugged up, not in his right mind, the grief, everything. That's null
you
and
can
void to
you
me.
can forgive male violence. That's okay.
Well, it's been established I hate women, so I was
true.
really rooting for him in that scene.
That's why it's let's talk about the husbands and not let's talk about the women.
I spent my whole episode waiting for this segment. My time to shine.
You're booking every time you say one of the housewives' names. You're like, boy. I'll give him a 6.
Okay, that's fine. Now, Tom, I would also give a 5 to, because he doesn't do anything especially good. I don't think he's in the wrong here. If you want to lower that to a 4, I can be agreeable to that, but I don't think we should go lower than 4. Think of the stuff he's done before.
I wasn't going to go lower. I wasn't going to go lower than 4. I'm swaying between a 4 and a 5 because I do think, regardless, in the beginning, he is letting his kids sneak out. He says again, it's been multiple occasions of letting the kids. So he is in no way. If your children sneak out in the middle of the night once, you should be more aware of it happening again. Also, the baby on the couch. 4.
4. But if I look it up and the baby was in a cot, do we upgrade it to a 5?
Let's do it live.
Right, let me scan through.
Where's the baby?
Scanning through. Oh, okay, there's Lynette coming home. Okay, 4 it is.
Baby's on the couch. Baby's on the couch. Baby's on the couch. In the words of dipshit Derek, suck my fat one.
Very good.
If there's one thing I don't play about, it's child neglect. 4.
Okay, well, we've come full circle with our little Stranger Things quote there.
I like that. It's a
So
nice
that
little
feels
bookend.
like a good place to end it. See you next time.
No. Jakub. Bad Jakub. Very bad Jakub. First, we must thank our wonderful patrons.
Let's do it.
So thank you so much to Tom Apologist, aka Anonymous, Rosie, Charlie, and Poppy. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who is listening. And
see you next time.
stay desperate.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out our Instagram for visuals, behind the scenes content, and more.
You can find us by searching for Modded, that's MEWDYD.
Or just search for Mary Alice, What Did You Do?
This podcast is brought to you entirely by us, Erin McGee.
And Jakub Tanzi. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out.
Join us next time for another episode of Mary Alice,
What Did You Do?